Welcome to Accelerating Success. My name is Penny Zanker and I'm the host. And on this show, you're going to see great leaders of business, great entrepreneurs, authors who are going to help you to accelerate your success. We're talking about important topics that are important to your success. And today we're going to talk about a really important one, which is self-sabotage. Because it happens, right? And we're going to be talking with Bearj Jehanian. I said your name right today.
You did.
I know.
You did.
And he liked me to announce that he is the Lord of all Dominion, or a motivational speaker and trainer, and also somewhat of a comedian.
You've got to have a really good mindset, right? You've got to have great vision for yourself.
So I thought you'd find it funny that I actually, he sent me a text that that's how I should announce him. So I thought, what the heck, you know?
Sure, why not?
and has a great sense of
You can
humor.
speak it into existence.
So it's great to have you here, and we always have fun.
It's great to be here, but I'm a little disappointed because I was expecting a band. I thought it was going to be Jimmy Kimmel here interviewing me. These are
You
the
missed
things
that on your way in?
I was a little bit disappointed. I'm still waiting for the walk-on music, but that's okay. We can do this anyway.
Next time. I'm sorry that you missed that. It was there,
That's
but
true.
You missed it. So, we're going to talk about an important topic, which is self-sabotage. What makes you an expert in self-sabotage?
Because I have done it to myself over and over and over again. Like most people, we tend to put something in our way. We're
Right.
our own worst enemies.
Right. We
And-
build up walls, so to speak,
Yeah,
right?
I was an elementary school music teacher for about 15 years of my teaching career, and I would tell my students all the time, don't block yourself from success. There will be enough people in the world
To do
who are
that for
holding
you.
you back and grabbing onto your legs when you're trying to escape the world of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself. You've got to be your best motivator. You've got to be your best champion. You've got to be the person who believes in you no matter what, all the time. So, this show's about accelerating your success. But the best thing you can do if you want to take that first step forward to accelerate your success is to be your own champion and
Absolutely.
champion yourself.
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier that we put up walls, right?
Yes.
And so I know that's sort of your website and your movement, so to speak, which
It
is
is.
Break Down the Wall. So tell us a little bit about that.
My website's breakdownthewall.com, and make sure you stick around till the very end of the show because I want to give something away for free that's going to help everyone accelerate their success.
Awesome.
So stick around to the end. I think that's really important. Break down the wall. I like to call it break down the wall to your success zone. It's important to focus on where you want to go, but not where you don't want to be. So
Right.
a lot of people talk about escaping your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. If we keep talking about the comfort zone, that's the place you're going to stay. If
That's
you talk
true.
about it, that's where you will be. So you want to talk about getting to your success zone. So everything I talk about is about breaking down that wall.
Mhm.
Whatever that wall is for you, we all have it. I don't care who you are. Even Donald Trump has a wall.
Well, we've seen his.
Yes,
Let's not go there.
He wants to build a wall, right? He wants to build a wall. But we all have these walls that we create for ourselves that are a boundary for how far we believe we can go, how much we can succeed, how much we can have in life, how much we can enjoy in our lives, how much we believe in our relationships, how much we believe in our businesses, how much we believe in our families and our children, how much we believe in success, period. And the reality is it's limitless. So once we can break down that wall that's holding us back from getting to success, then we can see it clearly. We can see what's there for us. We can go out and start to grab it and take hold of it and experience it. And when you start to have experiences that are successful experiences, that's when the belief starts to happen.
That's right.
So that's what
Creates
it's all about.
more, right?
Yes, it does.
So, we talked about breaking this up into the three segments. So, what's the first thing that people need to be aware of in terms of that self-sabotage?
I'll tell you a quick story about myself, and I think that'll help to make it really clear.
Okay.
I was a school teacher for 28 years, and in the first few years, I happened to be watching a TV program on PBS where I saw a gentleman named Les Brown speaking. I'm sure most of the viewers have heard of him. He's one of probably the top 5 motivational speakers in the world, one of the greatest speakers ever.
Absolutely.
And this was his big break. I didn't realize it at the time, but I started watching him. The program lasted 90 minutes, and I could not change the channel. I'd never heard a motivational speaker before. I'd never heard of a motivational speaker before. So this was an
It
epiphany
captured
for
your
me.
attention.
Oh yeah, it was a total epiphany. And when I saw him, I thought, this is what I'm supposed to be here for. I knew it. I knew that that was what my purpose was in life. And that was my passion, it was my purpose. Those two things were intersecting. But I did nothing about it. I didn't do a thing about it, and I stayed in that place because I didn't believe in myself. So the first thing people need to do is to build their belief. Had I believed in myself, I would have taken some steps forward, but I didn't believe that I could accomplish that. I didn't believe I could be that person.
Well, let me ask you a question there. So you knew in that moment that that was your passion and purpose, and at the same time, there's another part of you that said, no, that's not who you are.
Yeah.
So isn't that interesting? I think we're all built of all these different paradoxes, right? Of exactly that. So what was it that, you know, that enabled you to see it, that these two things were fighting against each other within you?
I knew they were, and I didn't know how to escape it. In my mind, I knew I could do it, but I didn't know how. And because I didn't know how, I didn't take those steps. What it came down to for me was becoming so unhappy with where I was that I made sure I would find out how. I was the guy who burned the boats.
That's the way life works, isn't it?
Right. I was the guy who burned the boats. I don't recommend this for anybody, but 2.5 years ago I said, that's it. I'm done. And I left my teaching job without knowing how to take those next steps. But I knew if I put myself someplace with no net, I was going to learn how to walk that tightrope and get to the other side.
Right.
You know, there's a saying that says if you leap, you have to trust that there's either going to be something to hold you, or you're going to sprout wings and fly. One of those two things are going to happen, right? And that's what I did. I just took that step in faith forward,
right.
And I found my way. There was something holding me up, and I also sprouted some wings at the same time. You've got to do both things, I believe.
Right, right. Well, that's great. So just to sum that up, so you've got to recognize when you get that moment and you recognize it, that's your greatest challenge is to understand how to do it, right? And to believe in yourself. That
Absolutely.
You can do it.
And I think everybody, in fact, I don't think, I believe, I know that everyone has something that they know that they're here for, and they're not taking action with it. And you've got to find out why, right, and move forward with it.
So is that you? Do you know what it is that you're really here to do? Is that what you're doing in your business, but somehow you're putting some kind of wall in front of you that's holding you back? So find out more as we come back from the break. This is Penny Zanker with Accelerating Success. We'll see you after the break.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra innings, where the game never ends.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Accelerating Success. My name's Penny Zanker, and I'm the host of this show. And we're here with Bearj Jehanian. He's a trainer and motivational speaker and somewhat of a comedian, I'll tell you. And he's got, we had a great discussion so far, and hang on till the end because he said he's got a little something for you. We said we wanted to talk about, okay, so let's say I get to the point where I've broken down some of those walls in the context of saying, okay, I'm going to remove those rules. I believe that I can do it. And I do just want to make a statement there on our personal identity, like believing that we can do it. I do believe it's the strongest force that exists. So when we really know who we are and believe that's who we are, so at that point, you believe, yes, you are a motivational speaker, right? It would be easy. So let's say I'm at that point, or you're at that point. So what's the solution? What's the next step? What do I do?
So I really believe there are three pillars to success. We've talked about belief. You've got to build that belief. You've got to build belief like it's the foundation for a building or the root system for a tree.
Absolutely.
And I really think the root system is probably the best analogy. Mm-hmm. So the bigger the tree, the bigger the root system. Mm-hmm. And that root system does two things. It forms stability for that tree so that it can't fall over, and it also feeds the tree. It feeds the tree nutrients.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Yeah, it feeds that tree, and it grows out deeper and stronger than that tree is.
That's right.
Now, if you go to look at a tree, you don't go to look at the roots. That's not the part that people are interested in. They want to go see that tree in full bloom with the leaves or maybe the blooms in the springtime. They love to see that. That's the beauty of the tree. The boring part's the roots.
And we've been talking about sort of the three pillars of success in your definition. And you said the first one was belief.
Yes.
We talked about the tree and the strong roots that needed to be there. And then it was decide, right? And then we talked about that in the last segment of understanding of basically cutting off the past and moving forward. And the last one you said was to act, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the act part, because sometimes people get stuck in this space. They believe, or at least they think they believe. They decide, or they think they've decided, right? And then they don't act.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Why are they not acting? I talk about it in terms of procrastination in my productivity zone. You know, and so what's going on? What do they need to do in order to act?
Well, first of all, I think if you don't have that third pillar, the action behind your words are empty words. Your ideas are empty ideas. Your feelings are empty feelings. So you've got to edify those first two pillars, believe, decide, act, by taking action. You know, you say, I'm somewhat of a comedian. I've never considered myself a comedian. I think I'm more of a jokester than a comedian. But I wanted to get out of my personal comfort zone. I wanted to experience some things that I never experienced before from the stage. I love being on stage, but there are certain aspects of being on stage that I'm a little bit fearful of. And it's really easy in the moment to make a joke and have someone chuckle, but to be on a stage as a comedian and have an audience and expect them to laugh at your jokes is a totally different deal.
Right, it's true.
And I felt that I wanted to get a different perspective of being on stage. So I took some comedy lessons, stand-up comedy lessons, and I actually went and did a stand-up comedy act. when I decided to take this course, I was scared to death.
Right.
But I signed up for the course, and I took the class, and believe it or not, there were people who showed up to the first day. They spent money on the course, and then they never came back again. They quit right away. The first day, the instructor said, okay, get up on stage and start doing your material.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to make us do that.
Exactly, and I didn't know either. So people were going up on stage one by one. I'm thinking, all right, don't call me right away. I'm kind of formulating everything, and I got up on stage. And fortunately, because I'm used to being on stage, I could talk through it and get through it okay. But one of the people there said, well, can I just go next time? Of course, she said yes, and she never came back. So she
But what did they think this was about? I mean, you're showing up at comedy classes,
Right.
which, if I remember correctly, because I remember when you did this, right, it ends up on stage.
Right.
So if you're not prepared to go on stage, why would you even sign up for it?
Right. So if you are not prepared to take those action steps,
Right.
don't waste everyone's time. Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your own time.
Stay right where you are because you're better being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a saying that world class are comfortable being uncomfortable. Middle class are comfortable being comfortable.
Mm.
So if you're not prepared to make yourself uncomfortable and be cool about that, then don't waste your time and feelings about yourself, because you're going to feel worse about yourself that you you wanted to do this and you didn't take the action.
Right.
So you've got to take the action. Here are a couple things you can do to really prepare yourself for that. So some actions you can take so that you can be ready to take action, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
When the time comes.
Kind of to plan.
Yes. Is number one is to do affirmations. Affirmations are huge. And I don't think people talk about them enough. It sounds hokey. We've all heard about Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live, and you know, I'm tall enough, I'm good enough, I'm happy enough, and gosh darn people like me. We've all heard that, but a true affirmation is life-changing. Let's face it, no matter what you're telling yourself, you're affirming that every day. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you are affirming yourself. That is an affirmation in and of itself.
Yeah.
So change it and tell yourself positive things. Write down 3 or 4 things that you want to believe about yourself. Write them in the present tense.
Yep.
That is important. Write it in the present tense, not in the future, but in the present tense. Read it in the morning out loud, and read it in the night out loud before you go to bed.
Out loud.
And that will help your brain to start to make those shifts from believing you can't to believing that you can. Because we all believe, right? We talk about belief. We all have belief. You either have a tiny little root system that the tree's going to wither away, or you've got a strong, vibrant root system that's feeding that tree great stuff.
Right. So this is a way to water your roots, right?
Absolutely.
To create the roots that you want and to water them. You know, my good friend, Dr. Thomas Duncan, he calls these confirmations, which I really like.
Yes.
Because there is some stigmatism that you hear, as you said, you know, affirmations. People either like it or they think it's woo-woo or whatever. But when he said that, you can steal it as long as you attribute it to him.
Yes, absolutely.
Dr. Thomas Duncan said this. Confirmation, because you're really confirming a belief, right? A belief. So anyway, so I just wanted to add that because I think it is valuable. It's very important to repeat and say those things that you believe to be true and you want to believe to be true.
Absolutely. I'm going to
So
ask
what's
you.
the second thing?
I'm gonna
Because
ask
we
you-
only have 30 minutes here. And
I'm
I
going
know
to ask
we
you a
could talk
quick
about this
question.
all
Did
day.
you have breakfast today?
I did have breakfast today.
I don't know if you had lunch yet because it's the middle of the day right now, but you usually have breakfast and lunch and dinner, right?
Absolutely.
You feed yourself, because if you don't, what happens?
I'll wither away and die.
You'll wither away and die, exactly.
So if I don't feed my roots, I'll wither away and die.
Or if you feed yourself bad foods, if you eat at a fast food restaurant every day,
right.
eventually you'll wither away and die. Maybe you won't wither away, maybe you'll get really big and die, but it's not good for you. Right. So you can either not feed yourself or you can feed yourself bad stuff. Or you can choose to feed yourself really good things that make your body a really vibrant, great physical machine. We can do the same thing for our mind. So the next thing is we've got to read. We've got to read powerful books that can change us. And I know a lot of people say I don't have time to read. But we're in your car and you can do an audiobook.
Oh, totally.
Or you can read just a few pages every day.
Absolutely.
And just reading a few pages every day is huge. It can change your life in the course of a year.
Absolutely. I believe that. I actually work with people and I tell them that they should pick out at a minimum, look to read, a book a month. You can handle that, a few pages,
Sure. 10 pages
whatever.
a day.
Exactly. It's totally something that can be done before you go to
Absolutely.
bed and so forth. So that's great. So read, do affirmations. Is
Yes.
there a third thing that you want to share?
Well, the third thing is something I want to give away to everybody.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us.
I really think it's important that you've got something. If you watch the show, that's great. When the show's over, you may watch it again, you may not, but we remember only about 5% of what we hear. If things are written down and you can write notes, I think it's important to have that. So I created an ebook, and I call it 5 Super Secret Ninja Success Hacks, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, they're really not secrets. It's something you know in your subconscious already. We know a lot of things in our
Right.
subconscious, but until we bring them to our conscious thoughts, we may not take action. We may not understand these simple steps that we already know about. So I call them 5 Super Secret Ninja Hacks. It's if you go to breakdownthewall.com/free report, breakdownthewall.com/free report,
Awesome.
you can download that ebook right away, and you can get started. It's a great starting place. It's not that long. It's a great launching pad as a first thing to read. I even give a few tips in there of some books you may want to read that will really help you, things that helped me, and just start to add more things to your library, to your menu of things that you want to feed your mind.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, we have another minute before
Awesome.
we're finished
Awesome.
here. So, thank you so much for being here. I think this was really valuable. And when people think about their success, right, they're always thinking towards their goals and what they want to achieve, and maybe in the earlier part of setting things up, but they're not thinking about what's standing in their way. So I think that's why I wanted to do today's show about talking about what is standing in people's way, right? And so just to repeat those pillars, because they're really important, is, would you like to just repeat them for us?
Absolutely. So believe, decide, act. These are the things that you can use, these 3 pillars, to get yourself into the success zone, to break down that wall. Another thing that will really help you is to create a vision, a clear, precise vision of exactly what it is you want. And a lot of people say, well, I want more money. Why? Why do you want more money?
Right.
Because if you don't have that why, that reason behind it, I mean, the world would be successful. We all want more money,
Right.
right? So that's clearly not a strong enough reason.
Well, we have to connect to it. I think
Yes.
the key is that everybody has a why. The thing is that they're just not connected to it, right? A lot of business owners, they get into their business,
Exactly.
and then they fall to prey of the day-to-day mundane, and they forget why they're in that business, and they have to reconnect to that. So that vision is so important.
And the reality is that day-to-day stuff, that mundane stuff, is where success comes from.
Absolutely.
That's where the success is. People see the fruits of success and they think that's what it's all about. It's all about those boring day-to-day mundane actions that we all have to take part in if we want to be successful.
Right. And at the same time, they might not be mundane when you're really connected to why you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Right? So I've seen that many times in connecting people to their why. So thank you so much for being here. We are at the end of today's show, but I know that people are taking a lot away, and they're going to go to breakdownthewall.com/free report
Yes.
to get that free gift. So thank you all for being here. It's been great, because I think that each time we talk about something that's really adding value to your life and your business to help you accelerate your success. So my name's Penny Zanker. I'm your host. Please join us next week as we continue to address topics that are most important to accelerate your success. See you next week.